is Step 1 with Freddie Wilson. Welcome to another episode of Step 1. I am Freddie Wilson. As a reminder, you can find every episode of Step 1 on Spotify and YouTube. And if you want to see more of Step 1, give me a follow on Instagram at Step 1 with Freddie Wilson and Twitter at Step 1 Podcast. We have a great show today. My good friend Ethan Letwat is joining the show. Talk a little Chicago Bears football. We got some ACC football to discuss. We got a wild weekend of football to recap where the Oregon Ducks finally found their offense, and Florida State went from being a top 10 team to being 0-3. We also have the Packers find a way to win with Malik Willis at the helm, and somehow the Baltimore Ravens are 0-2, and also the Eagles found a way to lose a game that they shouldn't have. And of course, we'll do a full preview of college football and the NFL. All right, let's ride. All right, it was a high-scoring weekend of college football. A lot of great wins and games, and it all started Friday night with a ranked matchup in Manhattan where the Arizona Wildcats fell to Kansas State. Now, we've talked about on the show many times, the Big 12 is going to be the most fun conference, and after 3 weeks of college football, you could sum up the argument for about 10 different teams that could feasibly win the conference. And Kansas State made a case for themselves with quarterback Avery Johnson running the show. First of all, in addition to being a very talented guy, great head of hair going for Avery Johnson. And how often in this day and age do we see quarterbacks with great flow? I mean, from one guy to another, great flow. Nice to see. I know I'm probably not going to watch that much Kansas State this season. So it's great to see them get a big one in prime time. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in the Big 12 championship. Moving into Saturday, Alabama bounced back from a disappointing performance the week before and dominated Wisconsin. Now, to be fair, if Wisconsin quarterback Tyler Van Dyke hadn't gotten injured the first drive, maybe this would have been a more competitive game. I don't think Wisconsin really had a chance regardless, and Alabama's offense looked good, and they got a big non-conference road win. Meanwhile, down in Columbia, South Carolina, another quarterback went down. Gamecocks starting quarterback and internet meme Lenore Sellers went down halftime with an ankle injury, and South Carolina couldn't hold off LSU. To be fair, the refs had a hand in it as well. I will admit, we try not to hate on the refs, but it didn't help their case. But regardless, it was a great game, great environment in South Carolina, a lot of big plays, and I think LSU got extremely lucky this game. I don't think LSU's that good. Their defense allowed big play after big play, but their offense did just enough to win. But I think LSU, when they play a good team like an Ole Miss or Alabama, their offense is not going to make up for their terrible defense. I think LSU is not going anywhere. But yes, we are going to talk about my side hustle team of the Boston College Eagles. Had a good game against Missouri. They just came up short, but they made Missouri earn that win. And they stayed competitive the entire game. I do think this will be a better Boston College football team than we are used to seeing. I do think they are a dark horse ACC championship contender. And I'm going to say it, that Friday night game in October against Louisville, it's going to have significant ramifications for the ACC. Just wait. That's going to be a huge game in the ACC. Sticking with the ACC, Florida State might be the biggest joke in all of college football right now. They're 0-3. They lost to Memphis, a team they paid $1 million to come to Tallahassee to play them. TJ Ukulele is not that good, and nothing is going well for the Seminoles right now. And they might not even be the worst team in Florida right now, as the Gators got embarrassed by Texas A&M in a swamp. And I wouldn't be surprised by this time if it comes out that Billy Napier is fired. Again, we were recording this on Tuesday. As of now, he's not fired, but if this comes out on Thursday, he might be. The Gators have no offense, and this Billy Napier experiment is going absolutely nowhere and just continues to get worse. Meanwhile, down Texas, Quinn Ewers went down, and we got to see a lot of Arch Manning play. This game was never in doubt. They were playing UT San Antonio, not a great team, but we got to see just how good Arch Manning is. And Texas has a good quarterback next year. And I don't think we give Arch Manning enough credit for not only being a good player, but also great at handling the hype, the name Manning too, by the way. He's handling the hype, he's handling media attention. He was the most highly regarded player in high school, probably ever. And he chose to go to a school where they already had a very good quarterback. So he sits behind him freshman year. He learns all he can. Now, in this day and age, kids like him would probably hop into portal after their freshman year. But not, even Quinn Ewers still playing. He is, but even with Quinn Ewers still playing, Archman is sticking with Texas. And next season, when he gets the reins, Texas will be a very good team. And I credit you, Arch Manning, for sticking through, luring as much as he can, because I think Texas will be somehow even better next season. In Kentucky, the Georgia Bulldogs struggled to get anything going against the Wildcats. I feel like this happens every year around this time. At least one game a year, Georgia goes on a road against an unranked SEC team that they should destroy. And instead, we get a game where we think, oh, it could happen. Maybe Georgia could lose. And every time they find a way to win. That's exactly how it played out on Saturday night in Lexington, Kentucky. And I think the Bulldogs will learn from this and be a much better team going forward. All right, before we talk about the Ducks, do want to talk about a game that I'm assuming no one actually watched. Washington went down to Washington State in the Apple Cup, and I'm so happy that Washington now sucks. They lost all their players and their coach, and they couldn't rebuild a program on prestige alone. They are so bad that Washington fans are making some minor edits to head coach Jed Fish's Wikipedia page. And I quote, on September 14th, 2024, Jed Fish, with the Apple Cup on the line, called a speed option to the short side of the field with a quarterback slower than Tom Brady. Husky supporters soon realized Fish was in over his head, given his lack of head coach experience. It just brings me so much joy that the Huskies are now terrible. And of course, we're going to talk about the Ducks because the offense is back and it looks better than ever. They finally figure out how to protect Dylan Gabriel, and it just seems like whatever play was called, it worked, and the offense is incredibly explosive. And the defense pitched a shutout for the second half. People seem to forget about that. Don't get me wrong, the Ducks need to get better, especially when we play teams like an Ohio State, like a Michigan. But this was a big win against Oregon State, not just because we won, but because we finally figured out how to protect Dylan Gabriel, and now the offense is in full force. All right, moving into the NFL. Wild weekend of football. It all started Thursday night in Miami, where we watched Tua get a third concussion in his career. This was bad. And I know people are saying Tua should retire and whatnot, but I'm not going to do that. That's not my place to say. What do I know? I don't play football. I just watch it. Concussions are bad, but they unfortunately happen. And Tua just has been extremely unfortunate, but he's had 3 concussions in 2 years. And all I want to say on this is I hope he's okay and he just makes the right decision for himself. Moving into Sunday, the Minnesota Vikings are somehow 2-0. Sam Darnold at the helm. They somehow managed to beat the 49ers. I didn't think highly of the Vikings before JJ McCarthy got injured. I wrote them off entirely after he got injured. I didn't think much of when they beat the Giants week 1 because it's the Giants. They're a train wreck. Daniel Jones is awful. So, cool, they beat the Giants. Great. But now they're going against the 49ers and they win. So now I'm starting to rethink the Vikings. They just beat a team that was supposed to be very good. And I don't know if they're just getting lucky or if they're actually really good. But they're finding ways to win games with Sam Darnold at the helm. And if Justin Jefferson stays healthy, they have a chance. So the Vikings might be a sneaky good team. And it just seems like we have a lot of teams no one expected to be good sitting at 2-0. The New Orleans Saints have the best offense of the league after demolishing the Cowboys. Again, who would have thought the Saints would be this good at offense? I don't think it's sustainable. It's a lot of fun to watch. And meanwhile, the Chargers are somehow 2-0. Jim Harbaugh has revamped the offense and created a strong rushing attack with J.K. Dobbins. And you know what? The defense isn't that bad either. I think Jim Harbaugh is already making a huge impact on the Chargers, and it's showing. Meanwhile, we have a team that we thought would be 2-0 in the Baltimore Ravens, but they are actually 0-2. Now, I think it will turn around. They got unlucky week 1, but this should have been an easy match for them against the Raiders and somehow turned into a loss. The Ravens are going to figure it out. It's not a great way to start the season, but I think they'll be fine. They're a good enough team. They got it together. The Jets finally got a win with Aaron Rodgers. But let's be honest, I think anyone can beat the Titans right now. And guess who plays the Titans next? That's right, the Packers. And the Packers found a way to win a game with Malik Willis. Packers offense was completely one-dimensional. We ran the ball, and eventually the Colts figured it out, but somehow the defense held strong, and we were able to survive and get a win. The afternoon games, the Cardinals figured out how to utilize Marvin Harrison Jr., who had a monster coming out party as they trampled the Rams. The Steelers are still the Iowa Hawkeyes of the NFL with a strong defensive performance. Watching Steelers play is unbearable if you're not a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They play great defense, but their offense is bad. And somehow they're going to win 8 or 9 games. They're going to make the playoffs because their defense is just that good. It is frustrating if you're just watching as a casual fan. Maybe if you're a fan of the Steelers, it's probably stressful, but you're winning games, and a win is a win. Meanwhile, the Chiefs found a way to beat the Bengals courtesy of an untimely pass interference penalty for the Bengals. Chiefs were not great offensively, but the Bengals struggled again on offense. They blew a chance to win a game. It was 4th and 16, and the call was right, but man, tough way to lose a very winnable game. All right, moving into Sunday night. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Bears aren't gonna win today. I know, I like that joke too. Chicago Bears failed to capture their week 1 magic, and as they fell to the Houston Texans. Now, the Bears defense, it's good, I'll admit it. The offense is a work in progress, and Caleb Williams is learning what it's like to play in the NFL. This guy's no longer Superman. He is a normal human being in the NFL. And if his decision and the offensive line can't if his decisions and the offensive line can't protect him, how much longer does he have before he gets hurt? It pains me to say this. He will be good, but he needs not to get hit every other play, and he can't just run around like he did in college. And finally, we ended Philadelphia where the Eagles had the win in the bag. All they had to do was really run the damn ball. They decide to pass it to Saquon. He drops the ball, clock stops. They go up by 3. They kick the field goal. And then they play terrible defense as Kirk Cousins marches down the field for a game-winning touchdown drive. The Eagles' woes from last season are already back. And if Nick Sirianni isn't on a hot season, he will be, because this was a game where they controlled their fate and they blew it. Now, if Saquon caught the ball, this could have been different. It was catchable ball. It wasn't the worst play idea. Like, I wouldn't have done it, but like, maybe they thought, we'll get it. No one's going to think we're going to pass it. But like, he drops it, then the clock stops, and that's where this happens. It wasn't the right call, in my opinion. And they could have ended the game, and they didn't, and they lost because they let Kirk Cousins march down the field. Anyways, great win for the Falcons. Impressive touchdown drive. And now let's get to my interview with Ethan Letwat. Okay, today we welcome on a very special guest, a guy I've only actually met once, but we really hit it off. So I'm like, this guy has to come on the show. Ethan Letwat, Chicago Bears super fan, I've been told, and
Yes, indeed.
Syracuse alum. Ethan, welcome to Step One.
Thanks for having me, Freddie.
All
Forward
right,
to it.
we got to start off with last night's game. Caleb
Okay.
Williams, thoughts?
I so I mean I could probably talk about this for hours, I'm not gonna lie. But I think we're fine. I'm not worried really. We need to fix the offensive line. That is my
Is it the
biggest concern.
offensive line, or is it Caleb just dancing
Oh,
around?
no, it's the offensive line. If you go check stats, he threw the ball, he dropped back 42 times. Guess how many times he was pressured? Yeah, if you had to guess.
I would say 40.
36.
Oh, I was close. I was close.
Yeah, close. That's almost 80%. Like that's
It's not a good
ridiculous.
model.
Like you can't be doing that. And you could see it on Caleb's face too. Like he was sick of it. It
It's a
just
long season.
yeah, long season. I was texting my friends back home, and like I truly think like I don't care if he breaks Peyton Manning's interception record. I want to air it out. I think the O line's an issue, and the second issue, I think the OC Shane Waldron. I think he came from Seattle, I believe. I don't know what we're doing. Too many bubble screens. Too many swing passes. Like I don't. The play calling's weird.
I
It's
think
just
he's just
weird.
trying to keep
And
it simple, rookie quarterback, but it's not meant for a style. But you hear all these stories about how like he wanted to learn their style, not do his thing of just running around and trying to make stuff happen.
right, and look, and he did that too, and he looked like he had good plays. Like the two those one of the interception, maybe two of them, like he got out of the sack like three times. Like so,
Oh,
I
they're
don't know.
gonna be glorious interceptions.
Yeah, and they were, yeah, it's not like they were just like right to them. Those were good interceptions. Like those were Stingley and I don't know, I don't remember the other guy who intercepted it, but I'm pretty sure it was like a rookie. And like that was a great interception. So
All right.
yeah.
I got 3 different stats. Which one do you think Caleb Williams will actually achieve? Will he get 30 touchdowns in a season? Bears quarterbacks don't do
This
that.
year? This year?
Or in the future, depending on how long he plays.
I
Will he
don't
ever
think
get 30 touchdowns in a season? Will he ever throw for 4,000 yards? And a big one. Will he ever beat the Packers?
Well, Packers this year, hopefully. I mean, Jay Love, I don't know what his knee is
Hey,
going
two,
through.
3 weeks.
Yeah, I
We
was
found a
surprised.
way to win yesterday.
Yeah, and look, I think you guys are good coach team. You got LaFleur. He's good. He
Yeah,
makes
the Colts figured it out in the second half, but their offense couldn't capitalize. Anthony
yeah,
Richardson is
I'm not an Anthony
some.
Richardson guy to be honest. So
I like the fun of it, but I don't think he's a good quarterback. I wouldn't want him to be my
correct.
quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's like kind of my
He's
take
a
on it.
home run hitter. Like he's not. It's
I
like
think
watching Joe Milton in college. You're
he's
gonna.
like super raw talent wise, and he just like you saw his arm week one, like his that he threw the ball 70 yards in the air, I
Yeah, he
think.
can air the ball, but like
Yeah,
they're not gonna win that many games the way he's playing.
right. I agree.
And
I agree.
Malik Willis made it happen when he needed to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't I don't know how
Oh,
he's
it
doing
was.
it.
I was like texting him like, watch Malik Willis try for 3 hours. We'll see how this goes. And
Yeah, I mean, you got it done. I don't know if you saw your center threw up on the ball. I
I
don't know.
I did hear about that.
That was a funny. I saw that. It was on like,
Apparently, he did it week one too.
oh, interesting. I didn't even know that. So
Must
that's
be. It's a weird thing he does.
yeah.
All right.
It helps though.
What's your over under for the Bears wins? Like, what are they at? Like 7 wins over
Yeah,
under?
I
Is
have them
it?
going 7-10. Like when I looked at the schedule at the beginning of the
That's
season, but
that's not the worst thing in the world.
I think people are kind of expecting Caleb to like go in there and be this like all pro guy, and like I that's
It's gonna
just
be
not
a season or two, and he's got to stay healthy.
correct. There's always a jump from college to NFL, no matter what. Like, does not matter in my opinion. So
All right. Well, let's talk about college. Syracuse football.
yes,
Are they real? Is Kyle
I
McCord the real deal?
well, I think Kyle McCord is the real deal. Ohio State, they went 11-1 last year. Like they
It
didn't
was the most shocking transfer event I
like
saw.
like I was hyped when he got transferred to Syracuse, but like from everything I've heard, he's a real deal. I mean, one of my friends is actually in the scouting department there. So, I mean, I don't think he's a high NFL like scout wise. Like I think he could be like a fifth, sixth, seventh round pick. I think he's going to be overlooked compared to some of these other guys. But I think he's good for a college quarterback for our offense right now. Like we are a run first offense at the end of the day, and having him is just a huge threat because we have, I think, the best tight end in college football too.
I mean, it's kind of interesting that like the ACC is truly wide open this year. Like Florida State is a joke.
I think Miami is legit though, if I'm being real.
I
I think
watched Chris the Ball coach at Oregon for 4 years. He's gonna screw something up. Like it's gonna come down to a close game and he's gonna
but
make a terrible call and they're
yeah,
gonna lose a game or two
but it's
just
not
on that.
I think he's playing worse competition than he was before. Like Pac-12 was, I mean, USC was really good.
I mean,
And like
he beat USC every time, though. Like that wasn't our issue. It was like he wasn't good at beating the teams we should beat like by a million.
yeah. I
And
mean,
like he was always like making questionable play calls. It
yeah,
was
I think Cam Ward's also like
Cam Ward's great. I saw him in Washington State. I know he's good. I
yeah,
know Miami has the team to be good. It's just like when it
yeah,
comes to like crunch time, are they gonna be is it gonna be third down with 20 seconds left and no timeouts on your team? Or are they gonna run the ball?
yeah.
Because
I
like
don't know. I don't
that
know.
could happen. You never know with Miami.
You never know.
Like
You
Chris
never know.
Ball is a great recruiter, great guy, but like not a great play caller.
Yeah. I mean, I think Fran Brown's a great coach. I also think we got a lot of transfers, but we do have a young team. So I mean, we play Stanford this week. We've never played Stanford before ever. So I
It's all
truly
right. Stanford's not that good.
right. So I don't need, but like still like it's a whole
Is it
different
at
level.
Stanford or is it at
I think it's
Syracuse?
a home game. I'm pretty
Because if
sure it's
it's,
a home.
I mean, at least in a Pac-12, if you went to a Stanford home game, it was like always 60% the other team's
Yeah,
fans.
true. Now it's like the dome should be packed. So
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Like I think
I
it's weird that Stanford is coming all this way, but that's just college football
yeah.
now.
mean, yes, I literally was talking about that like the other day. Like Stanford's in the ACC
Like
now. That's so
like
weird.
Cal's playing Florida State. I'm like, why are they? I'm like, oh yeah, that's a conference
Yeah,
game for Cal now. They have
yeah,
to go to, and they might win. They might.
yeah.
This might
They
be like
might. They might.
a lot of. I think Florida State. Who knows when they're going to get a win? Who knows how long Mike Norvell has left?
Yeah, I
Who's
mean,
getting fired first, Billy Napier or Mike Norvell?
Billy Napier. Billy
I
Napier.
think if he isn't fired by the time this podcast airs on Thursday, he'll be fired like shortly
No.
after.
Uh, no, 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 no.
You've,
I don't think.
I've heard rumors that they've like raised the boosters have raised enough money to pay for his buyout.
Wow, that.
Allegedly. I don't think they actually did that, but like
I
they're mad.
I think Florida needs to bring in a guy who can like actually like develop players and like start like DJ Lagway should be starting.
Yeah,
Like
Graham Mertz was never good.
Graham Mertz, well, it's not even that. It's like DJ Lagway is a 5-star quarterback, and you saw his arm when he did play, even though it was a crappy team. Um, like I think that DJ, like, how do you not start him? Like
Yeah.
he's your guy for the future. You got to get him. You got to
Urban
get him.
Meyer should come back.
No,
I
no,
don't think he will. It's
no.
not gonna happen, but how
That would be
great would that be if it
crazy.
did?
I don't think the NCAA would let that happen.
Mm, yeah, probably not, but like it would be a great story if he like comes in the middle of a season
Yeah, that would be.
to save the day one more time.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I mean,
But I
that
think
was
I'd be
why.
I'd be shocked if Billy Napier is still the coach by the end of the season.
Yeah. Oh, I think he'll be fired if they lose two
It's,
more games. They'll be fired. Maybe even one. Like, well, they're to be fair, they have their schedule's
oh
impossible.
yeah, they're not gonna they were never going to be good. Like their last isn't like
No.
their last 7 games like impossible. Florida State's easy now, but like besides
Yeah,
that,
I think they beat Florida State.
they'll be
Like,
Florida State. They play
I think by that time, DJ Lagway will be starting too.
and again, but it'll be a meaningless game. It
Yeah,
won't mean anything.
I mean, but it'll be both their team Super Bowls, so it
Yeah,
will be.
because neither
You know,
will be playing for a bowl game, so it literally will
like
be their
exactly.
Super Bowl.
So it would be like a meaningless game, but also like not meaningless at all.
Um,
So
I still think like Florida has potential to be good. They just need better coaching. They should be losing 2 games in the swamp. I know Miami's really good, but
yeah,
like A&M was beatable, maybe.
yeah, A&M is beatable. Miami, they shouldn't have lost. I mean, that's still SEC versus ACC. Like you can't. That's such a bad game to lose. Like
I
you
think
know,
it was a big win for. I think Miami needed a big win though to start the season. They got
oh,
that win.
100%. Well, if you're Miami, you're not stepping off the gas pedal. Obviously, I think just Florida only put up 19 points.
Yeah.
I think or 18 points or something.
All right. Let's talk about the best team in ACC, Boston College. We are an ACC. I'm a Boston College guy now. Like I watch the
Okay.
team. I went
So,
to their home opener. I watched the entire Missouri game.
all right. I'll probably
We'll
be at the Syracuse BC game. I think
I
that's
probably end up going too. Like it's gonna
yeah,
be fun.
exactly. So I actually met Cam Arnold, their linebacker. He came to my work where I work, and I was talking to him, and he was very confident that they were going to beat Florida State by like double digits. So,
Was this
like
before the Georgia Tech game?
before the Florida State game.
Oh yeah, but this was this before Florida State played Tech.
No, 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 no.
All
This was
right,
after.
because like this was after the week in between.
Yeah, the week in between. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm like, because if you said that before they played Georgia Tech, that would have
No,
been a
no,
bold take.
that would have been a bold take. Yeah, but they were still technically ranked 10 when they played them, I think.
And it was down in
Right?
Tallahassee too.
Yeah, and it was in Tallahassee. So like for him, he's probably gonna get drafted. For him to say that with like confidence, I think it just shows the coaching staff. Well, Bill O'Brien was great for the program. I think it just shows
They
like
got the coach they needed, like for
and
that program.
100%. And I also think that I think Missouri is very, very good. And the fact that they only lost by 6 to Missouri shows like
Missouri's
very
defense is good. I think their
yeah.
offense.
Well, they have arguably the best. No. McMillan's the best receiver. They have the top
Oh,
three
we're
receivers.
a pro McMillan podcast. I don't know if you've been watching the
Okay, yeah,
streams. We play as Arizona.
Oh, okay. You played.
We
Okay,
picked a
yeah.
team at random and we're running with that team, and we're just my whole strategy in Dynasty mode is
On
feed it to
Heisman.
McMillan.
You playing on Heisman?
All American. It's only
Okay.
first season.
No, I play on All American sometimes.
We're it the first stream didn't go great.
No, it All American takes some getting used to, but then once you get All American, you'll be like, all right, like it's not you'll get in a flow, but
Yeah, my goal for
it
Dynasty mode is to make McMillan the Heisman winner.
yeah, he's unbelievable.
He's
So
really good. Like he's going to be a stud in the NFL.
he should be a top 10 pick.
But I
So
think yeah, Missouri football, like their offense, it's the penalties that are killing them, and
yeah, I mean, I didn't
they're
really
gonna
watch
have a tough
it,
schedule.
but
Like they're gonna play some good teams.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think Missouri should be. I think Missouri could be better than Alabama. Like Alabama has not looked great the last
They
few
look to
weeks.
get it good against Wisconsin, albeit backup
To be
quarterback.
fair, yeah, I was gonna say to be fair, they had a backup quarterback, and I don't think Wisconsin's good, like at all.
No,
Like
it's a weird even with
even
Tyler
with
Van Dyke, it was
yeah,
a weird
exactly.
offense.
Yeah, it was a weird offense, and he was just like old, like I don't know, it was weird.
He's old. It was a completely different offense that he's used to
Yeah, like
running,
it
and
wasn't.
Wisconsin's used to running.
Yeah, Wisconsin's like the most running. They used to be RBU. You know what I mean? Like they cranked
And
out
now
like
they're trying to do an air raid with
it's
Tyler Van. It was
it's.
never gonna
I think they
work.
have. I think they got Cincinnati's coach, right?
Yeah, Luke
Like,
Finkel
yeah,
or Fickle, however you pronounce it. But I
yeah.
think, yeah, Wisconsin was never going to be that good. But I think back to BC.
Okay.
I'm making this bold take that Louisville BC Friday night game in October. That's going to be a meaningful game in the
Oh,
ACC as a whole.
100%. I think Louisville's very good. They have arguably a top 15 pick on the defensive line. I don't know his name, but
Yeah,
I
I don't
know.
know. I can't say I watch much Louisville football. I just know they're
I don't
probably be
either.
good.
I just remember them being really good last year. Like they killed us, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So we
And
were like our defense wasn't terrible last year. Like when I was a manager on the team and like some of the guys are still on the team that I managed for. They're all be their fifth year seniors. I think it's like just the linebackers. And like they were like very like those guys are very good. Like they're not bad. Like they should be NFL draft picks. So like I for the jump to that our like defense takes like is that's I think our the key to our season because our offense is clearly can dink and dunk if we have to run the ball. We've been playing great, but our defense is very young, and besides our linebackers, and we need to like lock in against like BC, Miami. I think
do you guys play Miami?
I don't know if we play
Because I know
Miami.
Boston College does. Boston College has a very manageable schedule.
Well, no, I actually don't think we do because I'm pretty sure we have like the easiest schedule in all of college football, which is
Yeah,
the bad thing because we don't. I think the hardest team on our schedule is I don't even like know.
find out
Like
right now.
I'd have to pull it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
All right. But yeah, I don't. I'm pretty sure we have like one of the easiest schedules in college football. Like we don't play Clemson this year either. I don't think.
You play.
Always lose to Clemson, which was annoying. But
Yeah,
then
it's a you play Miami last week of a season though, so you have that.
I think that's our hardest game by
Yeah,
far.
that's gonna be by far. I mean, NC State,
NC State's so bad. They're so
they
bad.
are, but like you're playing in NC State, like they always win those like weird games.
Did you see the week one game they played against Western
Yeah,
Carolina?
it wasn't great. They got killed by Tennessee, but I do think they're not gonna beat Clemson this weekend. But I think it's gonna be a better game than you would think.
I think it will be a blowout.
It is at Clemson, so maybe, but like they
I don't
always
know.
play
Did
Clemson
their
well for some reason.
quarterback get hurt too? NC State?
I have no idea. I just know they were overrated to start the season.
Well, I don't like even if he didn't get hurt, I don't like him because he's not good. Grayson
Yeah, it's
McCall.
NC State's never relevant. Let's be honest. They're
You remember
an
Grayson
occasionally
McCall?
good basketball school.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You remember Grayson McCall? He was a Coastal Carolina quarterback for a little bit.
I do remember him.
So
Yes,
he's the quarterback of NC State now.
it's not going great.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's good at all. Like they almost he did not play well against uh Western Carolina. They have this receiver who's like really, really good. He'll probably get drafted. His name is like Kevin Concepcion or Conception or something like that.
Some in that realm.
Yeah, something in that realm. And he's like really good. And he had like a long like run after catch touchdown in that game that like made McCall have like 300 yards, but he probably had like 230 yards and like a touchdown and two picks or something
Yeah,
against Western.
it's not a good time to
Yeah,
be an NC State fan. And then you just get
yeah, no.
destroyed by Tennessee, who I think Tennessee has the best offense in all of college football.
I think Tennessee's
Nico was the
so I don't know
quarterback
about
they needed.
oh
Like
yeah, he
it's
legit.
it's a
I'm trying to
fun
think if they're the
offense.
best. I think Texas with Arch Manning is probably the best offense because Ewers probably, or I mean either one. I think Ewers, they're just gonna sit him for the next two games because why not? Like
Yeah,
you
I
don't,
mean it's not a tough schedule yet. Like it gets harder
and
though, but
you saw Arch. I mean, I don't know if you watched that
oh,
game last
I
week.
saw the highlights. He can run, he can
Yeah,
throw. Like
so
he's good.
he's
I mean,
like,
we all knew he was good. He's just like I think sitting behind Quinn was like the best thing he could have done because like you can't.
yeah.
It was a
I
like
mean, it's
it's what
crazy that he didn't I was bagging him for not transferring. You know what I mean?
I actually think it's great he didn't transfer because I think it just shows he's a good dude. He's like, hey, like I care about this university. I wanted to play here. I'm gonna wait my
Right.
turn and watch this great quarterback and learn everything from him. And then
Right.
when
Exactly.
he takes the reins next year, like Texas might
Yeah.
be even better next year
They
somehow.
probably will get better. They probably will. And they're right now what? They're one. They're ranked number
They're
one.
not, I mean, yeah, rankings are rankings aren't that relevant currently,
Right.
but
Because I guess it's a 12-team playoff now.
it's 12-team playoff. But like, yeah, like
I mean, I just can't. I think the only team I can really imagine them losing to is Georgia. But like, that game is probably going to be one versus two unless Georgia loses.
I don't see Georgia. I mean, maybe they'll
They
lose the
play in the
Bama.
regular. They play in the regular season. So
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
they'll lose. Maybe they'll lose the Bama. That's gonna be a
that's what
fun
I was
one.
think. That's what I was thinking too, Bama. But like, it's not like it's Saban. You know what I mean? It's.
I know, but I want. I mean, I hated
I think
Washington, but
Milrow
I
is
love
really
Kalen
good.
DeBoer.
Yeah, I do too. I think Milrow is very underrated. I think he's better passer than people think. Like,
I'm so glad Kalen DeBoer took the Bama job instead of Dan Lanning.
yeah,
So
I mean Dan
I
Lanning.
remember when it all unfolded. So there was like rumors going around like the Eugene like news that like Dan Lanning was in Tuscaloosa. They were all false, by the way. But like
Yeah,
my roommate's like flipping his shit. Like I'm like,
so
you never
funny.
know, man. Like it could totally be fake. He's like, show me
Yeah.
the news article from like the local news too. So it's not like it wasn't like inherently invalid. Like it was a real like news
Oh yeah,
outlet.
no, no,
And
I
I'm
would have been
like,
that too if I were you.
and apparently Dan Lanning was not in Tuscaloosa. And I'm like, maybe he won't take the job. And then like once came on the board, I'm like, oh, Washington's going nowhere from now on. Like,
Yeah, no, Washington. I thought Washington was going to win last week. The fact that they lost proves
oh,
that.
I'm so glad they lost.
Yeah. So
I
yeah.
there's nothing more that brings me joy than watching the University of Washington lose.
How do you feel about Oregon football right now? You guys aren't looking too.
Offense was great on Saturday.
Yeah, but defense is a problem.
Defense pitched a shot a second half.
Yeah, but like that first game must have been scary.
First game was a bit scary, but I think like I think Idaho came out to play. I think
I
Idaho
agree.
was like
I agree. I agree.
I think Idaho is just like, all right, yeah, like we're probably not going to win this game, but let's shake some heads. Like let's make people think Oregon's not that good.
Okay.
And they pulled out all the stops, they did all the trick plays. We were gonna win that game, but like you know what, good for Idaho. Like they're
Who did
probably a
you guys
good
play
team.
last week again?
We played Oregon State this week. We played Boise State week 2, and that was a doozy.
Yeah, dude, Boise State's
Well,
a
Gentry is a Heisman caliber
yeah,
running back.
yeah, I
So
100%
no team is gonna
he's
stop
great.
him.
Have you played with him in the game? Because
I
he's
have not, but I
great.
should.
I played with him once. He's like insane in the game.
It's Boise State like is a good Mountain West team, and I think they gave us everything we needed, and the offense was still struggling. But now the offensive line's figured it out.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
I kept on saying, if you give Dylan Gabriel just an inch of
I
time, it's
no,
game over.
I would be I would if I'm Oregon, I a fan at least. I'm scared of USC because you guys are Big Ten now. Yeah, I'm
We're
scared
Big
of
Ten.
Ohio
We're not playing
State.
USC. The
You
big
play
game is
Ohio
Ohio
State.
State. It's
Who else
in
do you
Oregon
play?
though. We
Okay, who else?
play Ohio State. We play Michigan.
I think
We
you
don't
guys
play.
beat Michigan. I don't think Michigan. I think Michigan is a
It's at
seven.
the big house though. But
It
even
doesn't.
then, no.
Michigan doesn't have. You need a quarterback. They don't have that.
Hey, Orgy's playing this weekend. All right, maybe he'll be good.
Can't throw the ball.
It's Michigan USC though, so that's going to
USC, I
be
think USC wins by 10 plus.
USC has a defense kind of now.
They have a quarterback, a defense. They have great running back, great
I
receiver.
still I need to see a Lincoln Riley defense play down the stretch to be good though.
The fact that they beat LSU is
Yeah, but
crazy.
Brian Kelly can't win the
Yeah,
big game. That means nothing to me. I didn't think
guys,
Brian Kelly.
I
I didn't think they were
you
going to win
watch.
against South Carolina, and they
Did
somehow
you?
did.
No, I bet money line on South Carolina and was very upset. The
I
ref gave
I
them that
mean, if
game. Don't.
Norris didn't get injured, whatever his name,
Did you
Norris.
watch Did you watch that game at all?
I mean, I had it on, but like I had the Oregon game
The
on
ref,
too.
there were like, I guess I didn't really get to watch it, but like I looked at Twitter after, and I guess there was like four penalties that were just like phantom. Like they called it offensive pass interference and like nothing happened. And then they called like a false start and they did a replay and like nothing happened.
Yeah, there was some
So it
doozies.
was weird, and I was like, "What is going on?" And then all the comments on like Instagram under the post are like, "Rigged, rigged," you know.
LSU shouldn't have won. Like LSU's
Oh,
defense is atrocious. They
oh,
got lucky that the South Carolina kid got injured at halftime.
I know. Still though,
It
like,
was big play after big play for
yeah,
South Carolina.
yeah,
Like every
that is
touchdown they had was like
their quarterback
60
is very
yards.
good. Their quarterback is very good. It's
I think
he's
South Carolina has a lot to cheer for, which is weird
yes,
because it's South Carolina.
no, I know South Carolina. They used to be like so good though. With
They were good, and then like they had that 3 game stretch with Rattler where everyone thought like, oh, we could be good. Like to beat
yeah,
Tennessee, then they beat Clemson. Everyone thought like next season we're gonna be the team to beat, and then that did not happen.
yeah, that did not happen.
But again, it was fun to see game day in Columbia. Like
Oh
I was
yeah,
shocked
no,
they chose to
so
go
cool.
there.
I'm hoping that by the end of the season, Syracuse and Miami is game day. That'd be
It
crazy.
could be.
I think it could be. I honestly like. I think we could be a. I think we could be playing in the ACC championship. Like
I mean, I've said about BC too, so we'll see how big
I
that
think
BC
we beat
Syracuse game
BC.
is.
Like my only concern about BC is their quarterback is so.
Castellanos is a gamer, all right. He's
He's just like
not the
short.
best
Though.
quarterback in
He's
the
so
world, but he
short. And
can play.
He's like Kyler Murray. Like
They are
he's
comparing him to Kyler Murray a little bit
yeah. Like I
in
like
terms of like stature and style of
yeah.
play. I
Like,
wouldn't say
only because he's
talent.
short. He's like not even close to as good as
But
Kyler Murray.
he can run. It's a good running attack. It's a good offense. Bill Brown was the perfect coach, and like they were only able to get him because he wanted to play there or coach there. Like,
Oh, I mean, yeah, he's from the area, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure.
to get that big of a name
Right.
at a school like that, like I'm like, okay, like cool. And then like I didn't think much of then I heard rumblings. Julian Edelman on his podcast was like, yeah, like Bill had me come talk to the team. He's like, they're building something really good down there. And I'm like, are they? Or are you just saying that because you like
No,
Bill O'Brien?
I think they'll be like a like good like I mean who wouldn't want to play for a former
Yeah,
he
like
should
I
be getting
think
every good recruit in Massachusetts if he's able like
Massachusetts I want to consider a hotbed of college
right
football
but like
talent.
there's gonna like I wouldn't either but like maybe not in Massachusetts like Northeast talent he should be able to like it's gonna be BC and Syracuse are gonna be two really
Yeah,
good because it's like I mean I love Fran Brown our coach
yeah.
he's literally the number one recruiter so
It's the times are changing in ACC. I mean, Cal, like let's be honest, Cal and Stanford, SMU aren't going to change who's
yeah.
going to win that league at all. But
And I think it'll I I mean I think it honestly might though. I think they like this Stanford Syracuse game like no one really knows what to expect because they've never played each other ever. You
and
don't
I
even
mean,
like
Stanford's
that.
not that good.
Oh,
Stanford
I
is not that
agree.
good.
No, I agree. I don't think they're that good either, but like it's not like it's like they've never played like they
Yeah,
don't know
it
each
should be kind of
other.
fun to see. And it's like
It
fun to
will,
see.
yeah. I think it'll be a high scoring
I
game.
think Cal like playing Florida State is wild, but like Cal
And it's
fans
on a
have shown
Friday night.
and they also traveled down. Like Cal fans like
Yeah.
came down to Auburn.
No, I mean, I don't know. Cal to Syracuse is deep.
Yeah, Cal fans are I would say they're a little overly optimistic about their team, but they
Yeah.
also know they're
And
not that good.
in basketball and in basketball too. They're
Cal's good at sport. It's like Cal's never good with sports no one cares about, the non-money making
right.
sports. They're very
Right.
good at rowing. They're very good at like water polo.
Exactly. I didn't even know that.
Like,
So
oh, they're really good at water polo.
really, I
Yeah,
didn't know.
like I had a roommate who was a diehard water polo fan. So like I watched
That's interesting.
national championship of water polo on team USC and
Water
Cal.
polo
Like,
is hard.
oh, it's
Yeah,
a
like,
bunch of Greek dudes who are just
oh,
really
really?
good, who are like 6'8" and ripped and good at
Yeah.
swimming.
Jeez.
It's it's a fascinating sport to watch.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it is.
Playing it, I've heard is very hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would not want to play that.
I've watched enough to be like, I will never play the sport. This seems exhausting.
Oh, that I was gonna say I would be like wanting to like stop after 5 minutes.
I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of how it goes. But
Yeah.
all right, Syracuse basketball.
Okay.
But are they done with the 2-3 zone now that Hum's
Yeah. Oh,
retired?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't watched that much
They
Syracuse
use
basketball
it.
lately.
I mean, they use it, but like I mean, they just don't play. They play to their competition, which is like so annoying, like
Are are they
so.
gonna be relevant anytime soon?
I would hope so. This year they got good recruiting class. They got a 5-star. They got all McDonald's All American, Donnie Freeman. So
All right,
hopefully we're good. I mean, we still have
it is such a basketball school, so like they
it is, but like honestly, this year it might be a football school. I'm not gonna lie. Like my friends that are still there, I mean, this is the most hype I've ever been for Syracuse football. This probably besides the year before I went there. So like my senior year of high school, like when we beat Clemson and beat West Virginia in the Pinstripe Bowl, like that was like the most hype I had been
yeah.
for Syracuse football. But like this year, like I don't think people realize how crazy of a transfer that was.
It was
Like
one of the more shocking. Like I thought, and also like I thought it was a dumb reason why he transferred. I think like the
I don't know.
rumor was like Ryan Day just told him like, hey, like we're gonna bring in some new guys. Like it might be a competition. And Kyle McCord didn't feel confident in his ability to beat other
No,
people.
I don't think that's not what happened.
Of
I'm pretty sure Ryan Day told him you're not going to start next year.
I mean, maybe he said that, but also like maybe like Kyle McCord could be like, all right, I'll prove you wrong. I had a
I mean, yeah,
decent season. I produced a Heisman caliber wide receiver. I
right.
know Marvin Harrison Jr. is a specimen of his own, but like
My
someone's
God.
gotta throw him the ball.
Oh, 100%. And like based on this season, Kyle McCord is probably top 5 quarterback playing
Like
in
I
college football.
think
Right now, in my opinion. I don't he's leading all NCAA in touchdown passes. Yeah, he hasn't really played anyone, but like I don't think Ohio is a bad team at all. Like they
Ohio
went 10 and
State's I mean they I think it got even better. Like Chip Kelly's running the offense, like
I'm saying Ohio, like Ohio
of
Bobcats.
University of Ohio. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah.
like they're not a bad team at all. Don't get me wrong. They're 10-3 like last year, and like they are well coached. It's not like they didn't score against us. We only beat them by like 14.
So
Like
it's an interesting time for Syracuse football. I think it's gonna be a fun season. I think the ACC, well, other than the Big 12, is my favorite conference in terms of like unpredictability.
yes, I love the Big 12 too.
Uh,
Big
we're
12.
we're we're Big 12 is so much fun.
Yeah,
Like
I love
Kansas
I
State,
love
like could be. You made an argument for like 10 different teams to win the Big 12, like and
that.
good arguments too.
There are a lot of good Big 12 games. There are going to be a lot of good ranked
We
Big
have
12.
another rank. We have another rank. We have Oklahoma State, Utah this weekend. Like
Yeah,
that's gonna be
I mean,
fun.
well, I mean, is Cam Rising going to play?
Who knows?
If he plays, I think they kill
Their
him. If
defense is good enough where they can hang.
yeah, but
It isn't Stillwater
who
though,
their
so
backup is, right?
it's a freshman who's not that good, but
Who it
like
is, though? Do you know, like
I do not know.
Zach Wilson's brother?
Oh, yeah, not great, not great genetic material to
Yeah,
work with.
exactly. So
But I mean, Cam Rising, if he can play, I think he gives them a very good chance. Like,
I think they win by double digits if he plays. To be honest, Oklahoma State plays to their competition. In my opinion. Like Arkansas is not good, and
no,
they
Arkansas is not good.
and they almost lost Arkansas. They should have lost Arkansas.
Like Arkansas is not that good. Also, speaking about Arkansas, have you noticed that they got to do neck up close ups on Sam Pittman now because chest below is a mess right now for him.
Oh God, I didn't even notice
He's
that.
not. He doesn't look. It looks like he's gained a few pounds since
Oh
he moved to
geez.
Arkansas. It's
Yeah,
not looking so
yeah,
good.
he
I mean,
didn't
again,
look
like
great. I mean, they
I
also
think
have
he
a
must have told
29-year-old
someone like
receiver.
neck up, like don't go
Oh,
down
yeah.
below,
They also have like a 29-year-old receiver, right?
something like
Arkansas.
that. Like
Yeah.
Arkansas, it was fun early on with Sam Pittman, but now I think they're just sticking with him because they just don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I don't even know, but he's
Like
struggling.
I think they were just so happy to win games that like they don't want to lose this guy because they were so bad before him.
I think they're just like also all in on basketball now that they don't really care
Yeah,
about.
they're like they got
They
Calipari, they're
got
going to be good.
Calipari. Yeah, they're all they don't care about football right now. So
But I am back to the Big 12. I think it's going to be the most chaotic conference. There's going to be a bunch of like random games in November that are going to be meaningful in the Big 12.
yeah,
Like,
100%. I think
and
I
there's a
think
lot of good teams, and it's just like,
I think you could see three teams in the Big 12 in the CFP. I don't think it'll happen, but I think it's possible based on the
yeah,
schedules.
it's a chaotic. Like they added so many teams. It's pure chaos. It's a lot of fun games. Like there were fun games this weekend in Big 12. Like the TCU UCF game was very fun.
Yeah, I low
Random
key
game, but really fun actually.
I had UCF winning that too, and because I don't think TCU's quarterback is that good. I think he had a good game and everyone was like hyping him up, but I don't think TCU's that good either.
TCU had that one good run of a season
Yeah,
where
I think they just had a lot of NFL talent on their team and just made like I think they just had like a crazy run too.
it was a crazy run with a lot of luck.
Like they exactly like they got exposed in the national
Yeah,
championship
well, I
game.
mean Georgia's Georgia, but
Yeah, sure. But I think that would have been a closer game if that was Michigan still.
it could have been, yeah.
Yeah, so
Or
I
like
don't
an
know.
Ohio if Ohio State was in the mix.
Yeah, I just like it would have been like it's not like it would have been that like Georgia wouldn't have put up 60 whatever points, like
Yeah. I
so
mean, I still think Georgia's the team to beat overall.
I mean
The
yes.
defense, they
Oh yeah,
found
it
ways to
is.
win
It is.
games.
It is. No,
This
you're right.
the Kentucky game was a fluke. It happens every year. Like even
Yeah.
Kirby said it during the interview, like, yeah, this happened last year at Auburn, it happened Missouri the year before. Like this happens to us every year. Like we win these close games that we
Yeah, but
shouldn't be close.
not this early though.
It's usually like
Not
early,
this
late
early.
September, early October, though. Like I
No, I
remember,
feel like it's usually like when they have like 4 or 5, maybe like 6 wins, like they play like a random away game for a team that's like four or like that's like three
yeah,
and three or 4 and 2, and then they just like it's like a weird get like Kentucky is not bad, but they also got whooped by South Carolina, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
like it's weird.
It was an electric environment though. Like Kroger
Oh yeah,
Field came out for that game.
100%. I mean, SEC fans are crazy too, so
I mean, I would say every fan except Vanderbilt fans.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they beat Virginia Tech, and then what didn't
They
they just
lost to
lose to
some random team.
random school? Yeah, like I
It's
was gonna say, it's so weird.
yeah,
So
you don't go to Vanderbilt to watch football. You go because you
no,
got to live in Nashville.
right,
All right.
exactly.
Before you leave, we have a reoccurring thing on the show. We ask every guest Super Bowl picks.
Oh, okay. Oh man,
I got
after
I
we
got a running list. And then if you ever come back on during the season, you have one opportunity to change it if you think you're wrong.
okay,
I will tell you mine, and I think it's probably really bad, but I'm sticking with it. I at the start of the season said Packers over Bengals. It is a bold pick. The Bengals are struggling. I'm not changing it yet. I'm not
um,
using my one mulligan just yet.
I am going to go Chiefs
All
first of all.
right.
I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes again. I've lost A, too much money, and B, the refs love him.
All
So
right. She got Chiefs over.
over. I don't know if I have the Chiefs over though. I don't know. Like this might be bold, but it's not gonna. I would say the Lions maybe. I'm trying to NFC, bro. The
The
NFC is
NFC,
so weird.
everyone has trouble with the NFC. The NFC is a hard one to predict.
Yeah, I would say 49ers, but like I don't know. Like they're very
The
injured.
Vikings game.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think the Vikings are very well coached. Yeah, I
Let's
guess I'll go Lions. I'll go
all right. See,
Lions over Chiefs, I
Lions
think.
over Chiefs. All right. I would say since we do this, 3 out of 4 people have all gone with Chiefs, but you're the
Okay.
first Lions guess. So that's Lions
Yeah,
over Chiefs. I like it.
they're a very well coached team, and to be honest, the only reason they really lost was because of Dan Campbell last
I mean,
week.
Dan Campbell's coaching style is going to win them a lot of games, but it will lose them a game here and
I
there. It's just a
know.
question of when that game comes.
Yeah, they just have by far the best offensive line. They probably have a top 5 edge rusher in Aiden Hutchinson in the NFL right now.
It's It's a hard
Trade
time to be a Packers fan.
they should trade if they trade for a decent receiver, they'll be
I mean, they
great.
have one. His name's Amon Ra.
No, but they need a third guy. They have two guys who can get Jamison Williams is more of like a deep threat. You don't hit I
It's
don't think
been
they
fun
want him.
though. It's been
Oh,
fun.
but I think they don't want him running slants or all that because he would get blown up and he is like
Yeah.
so fragile and it's like they if they lose him, then they're kind of screwed because like
Yeah.
they
They
would
need one
just
more piece to be good, and then
right. I
it'll be a
agree. And
scary offense.
I didn't understand last year they traded for Donovan Peoples-Jones and like they just didn't use him and then they cut him in the soft like that made no sense to me. And then like they didn't really take a receiver in the draft, which was weird. I thought they were gonna do that.
All right. All
But
right. We got like 30 seconds left. So it's been awesome. Thanks for coming on the show. You're welcome back whenever you want. Thanks for
so
joining us, even.
had a great time. Thanks,
All right.
Freddie.
Thank you. All right. Let's get into our football preview. I should probably mention I won't be able to watch football much this weekend. I have a family wedding in Wisconsin. No, the Packers aren't in town that weekend because otherwise I would totally go to Lambeau. But I'll keep tabs on all the big stories and scores. But let's get into college football, where for the second week in a row, a top 25 matchup on Friday night, this time in the Big Ten. Illinois is heading to Lincoln to take on Dylan Raiola in Nebraska. Now, if you were telling me at the start of a season that this would be a top 25 matchup, I would have thought you were nuts. This is another great opportunity for us to see Nebraska and just how great of a team they are, and also how great of an environment Memorial Stadium is. Like, it's one of the greatest environments in college football, and it's really cool to see it in its true colors. It's going to be a party in Lincoln, and I think the Cornhuskers are going to put on a show for everyone. For Saturday, not a ton of great games. It's week 4, a lot of bye weeks this week. In the 12 o'clock window, we got a lot for Saturday, not a ton of great games in the 12 o'clock window. It's week 4, so a lot of teams have bye weeks. We got NC State versus Clemson, which is always a fun game, and I'm curious to see if Clemson is that good. They had a big bounce back win after week 1, but this is a test. I don't think Clemson's gonna lose, but I think NC State loves to give Clemson trouble. So I think it's gonna be a closer game than you will think it's going to be. We got another top 25 matchup in the Big Ten with USC taking on Michigan at the Big House. Now, has finally decided to start Alex Orji over Davis Ward. I think that's a good move. I think Alex Orji is a pretty good quarterback. But let's see if Lincoln Riley can win a big game for USC because USC, great offense, and their defense has shockingly improved a lot. So let's see in a hostile environment if they can make a statement win. And for Michigan, let's see if they can get their season back on track because if they lose again, especially at home, it's going to be tough sledding for them this season. Losing 2 games early on at home is not a great way to start the season, especially when you play at the biggest stadium in college football. Moving to the Big 12, we have a game with significant meaning for the conference with Utah heading down to Stillwater to take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Now, who knows if Cam Rising's going to play? He didn't play last week, and as of his taping, there's an update on that. I do think even if he doesn't play, they have a good enough defense to at least give him a fighting chance. This Oklahoma State team is good offense, so I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, and I will not be shocked if these teams meet again in the Big 12 championship game. Now, on Saturday, we got another big game in the Sooner State where Tennessee is coming to town to take on Oklahoma. This is gonna be a really fun game. Tennessee might have the best offense in the country right now. Nico is the perfect fit for their scheme. It's a highly explosive offense. They were absolutely dominant last week. I know they were playing Kent State, but regardless, 65 points and a half is incredibly impressive. Oklahoma's offense, on the other hand, it's decent, but it's not anywhere near as explosive. And I think Tennessee actually is a really strong defense. And I think it's a good time to be a Tennessee Volunteer down in Rocky Top. And finally, we're going to talk about Boston College, a primetime game against Michigan State. I think this will be a very fun game. I do think the same will be like 60% Michigan State fans, so it's not going to be a great environment. But I do think Boston College is going to have a team to at least compete, and I think this could be a big program win before ACC play begins. All right, moving into the NFL. Got a fun week of the NFL coming up, and it all starts Thursday night with a classic rivalry. Patriots versus Jets with the new addition of Aaron Rodgers. The Patriots, it pains me to say this, looked they looked good for the first 2 weeks. The offense is a work in progress, but the defense is competent at times. And I think they want revenge on last season when they lost to the Jets in that meaningless Week 18 game. I think they just want to beat the Jets. I think the Patriots are going to play a good game, but we'll see how Aaron Rodgers does. Moving into Sunday, we got a battle of undefeated teams in Houston with the Vikings taking on the Texans. Again, it blows my mind. The Vikings are 2-0, but if Justin Jefferson plays, they seem to always have a chance. He's that big of a difference maker for them. The Texans also look very good, and I think they have one of the most competent teams in the NFL. The Packers look to continue to play well with Malik Willis most likely starting. I think this one is personal for Malik Willis. He's playing against his old team. He lost a job to Will Levis, who, as we've seen, is a pretty bad quarterback. And how funny would it be for the Packers to come to Nashville with Malik Willis and embarrass his old team? Got another battle of the undefeated with the Chargers taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be a low scoring game. The Steelers can't do much of anything on offense, and really never can the Chargers, except they can run the ball. But the Steelers defense is that good that I think it's going to be a doozy if you're in the offense. I would not be surprised if this game's like a 6-3, 10-7 score type of game. It's going to be rough. If you like defense, this will be the greatest game ever, but it's going to be hard to watch. The Ravens look to get their first win against the Cowboys. If you are a Ravens fan right now, and if you lose this game, it might be time to hit the panic button. I don't really know what you could do to change the team. They've gone flat out unlucky, but the Ravens need a win, and I will always root for the Cowboys to lose. So hopefully the Ravens get their first win. Moving into Sunday night, we got the Chiefs again in prime time. So we will definitely see shots of Taylor Swift, and they're taking on Atlanta. Now, Atlanta might be a fun team, at least on offense. They finally have a good enough quarterback to utilize all the talent around them. Because they have a good offense. At least on paper, they do. And Kirk Cousins is a good enough quarterback to make them work. The defense, on the other hand, it's average at best. And I don't know if they're going to stop Patrick Mahomes. So it's really the big question is, what can Kirk Cousins do to keep him in the game? Because I think the Chiefs are ready to bounce back and have an offensive explosion. Moving into Monday, we got two games essentially at the same time. The first game is the Jaguars taking on the Bills. Jaguars need to win badly. It started to look like the early 2010s Jacksonville Jaguars, where they were the laughing stock of the league. The Bills, on the other hand, look very good. And despite trading or cutting their entire offense over the offseason, Josh Allen is continuing to flourish, and they seem like a better team. I really do think the Bills are better than they have in the past. And I think they're making this work, and it's a lot of fun. We also have the Commanders versus the Bengals. Must win for Cincinnati. Two tough losses this season. If you lose the Commanders, it's time to hit the panic button. The Commanders, on the other hand, are not playing great, and Jane Daniels is really good at handing the ball off. I do think they have a bright future. And once Jane develops, I think they'll be even better. But for now, they're a year or two away from being relevant. That's our show for this week. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back next week. Big Fred, over and out.